What's the most ridiculous thing someone has tried to convince you of? My neighbor across the street was absolutely convinced that our mail carrier was a government spy conducting surveillance on our entire neighborhood. Not like jokingly paranoid. Dead serious, tinfoil hat level convinced. His name was Rick, retired mechanic in his 60s, spent most days sitting on his porch in this old lawn chair, watching the neighborhood like a security guard. Every time our mail carrier Emma walked by, Rick would duck behind his newspaper and peek over the top like he was in some spy movie. One day Rick cornered me while I was mowing my lawn. He starts whispering about how Emma takes photos of every house, memorizes who gets what mail, and reports back to some secret government agency about our daily routines and suspicious activities. I'm thinking this guy has completely lost his mind. Emma's been delivering mail on our street for 15 years. She knows everyone's dogs by name, always remembers to put packages behind the screen door when it rains, and brings treats for the neighborhood cats. But Rick wouldn't let it go. He showed me this thick spiral notebook where he'd been tracking Emma's route timing for 6 months, down to the minute. He claimed she was systematically mapping our neighborhood for some future government operation. He pointed out how Emma always walked the same pattern, looked at house numbers too long, and sometimes stopped to pet dogs. All evidence of reconnaissance, according to Rick. He'd even highlighted suspicious activities in different colored pens. The breaking point came when Rick installed 4 security cameras pointed directly at the mailboxes. Not his own mailbox, everyone's mailboxes. He said he was gathering video evidence of Emma's suspicious behavior patterns. I told him he was being ridiculous and maybe a little creepy. Rick got defensive and said I'd understand when the truth finally came out. He promised he'd prove Emma was up to something within a week. Sure enough, the next Tuesday, Rick comes running over with his camera, practically vibrating with excitement. He shows me this footage of Emma taking pictures near the Martinez house across the street. Look at this, he says, zooming in on Emma holding up her phone. She's documenting their security system and taking photos of their windows. This is exactly what I've been talking about for months. I looked closer at the grainy footage. Emma wasn't taking surveillance photos of the house. She was taking a selfie with the Martinez family's new golden retriever puppy that had gotten loose in the front yard. You can literally see the dog jumping up on her leg in the video, Rick. She's playing with their puppy, not conducting government espionage operations. Rick stared at the screen for a long moment, squinting. Then he rewound it and watched again and again. Finally, he goes, well, that could still be part of her elaborate cover story. But his conviction was starting to crack. Over the next few days, I watched Rick's paranoia slowly unravel as he actually paid attention to what Emma was really doing instead of imagining conspiracies. She wasn't memorizing house layouts. She was checking on Mrs. Davis's cat that always escaped through a broken fence. She wasn't timing security patterns. She was avoiding the automatic sprinklers that turned on at noon. The final nail in the coffin came when Rick's own package got delivered. Emma noticed his new security cameras and left a friendly handwritten note asking if everything was okay, since she'd noticed the increased security measures. She offered to hold his packages at the post office if he was worried about porch theft. Rick came over that evening looking completely embarrassed. Turns out Emma had been going out of her way to take special care of his mail for years, bringing packages to his back door when it rained, holding his social security checks when he was out of town visiting his daughter. He'd interpreted 15 years of professional kindness and neighborhood care as evidence of a massive government conspiracy. The same woman he'd been stalking with cameras had been looking out for him this whole time, treating him like family. Rick took down all his cameras the next day and apologized to Emma personally. Now he waves at her every morning and she still brings his packages to the back door when storms are coming.